Guys, welcome back to another Leetcode Daily. Today we're going to be solving 380. Insert, delete, get random, O of 1. So this is a medium question. So it says implement the randomized set class. Randomized set initializes the randomized set object. Bool insert int val. So this is going to be where you want to insert into the set. And so if the val is not present in the set, you would add it and then return true. And then if it's already present, you just return false. And then for remove, this is if it's not in there, you would return true. And then if it's already in there, you would return false. For this, what you would do is do basically the opposite. So if it's in there, you would remove it and return true. And if it's not in there, you would return false. And then this one is get random. And then this one, you would have to return a random element from the set and constant time, of course. So everything should be constant time. So let's get started. So first of all, what we want to do is, of course, since this is um, called randomized set, well, we won't use a set. We could use a set, but I don't know, it's just longer. It takes longer. So instead, we would use a dictionary. So let's go ahead and initialize it. Self.dict equals empty dictionary, right? And then now, since we have this one right here called get random, right? So you can't really get random from a dictionary because you don't know all the keys. And if you wanted to cast it as a list to get random, then that would be O of n and not O of 1. So what you would need to do is you would also need to initialize a list, right? And then this would store the same values, but since it's a list, you can do there's many ways to get a random one from the list. You could do like the range, like generate random and between the range and the list.len and whatever that. But there's actually a built-in function I'll show you guys later. So let's go ahead and work with the insert for now. So the insert says insert an item val into the set if not present, right? So how do we check if it's not in present? So we would do if val in self.dict. So this checks if it's present, right? This checks, yeah, this checks if it's present. So if it is present, then we would just do an early return of false. Now, so if it's present, it would return. So now we know that down here, it would not be present. So here what we do is we do self.dict, right? And then we would get the value. So we pass in the key, right? And then we would add this and then give it the value len self dot list, right? So this is going to be the index of it. And then here we would, of course, add it to the list. So this stores the index, and then this stores the value. And then, of course, one last thing, we would have to return true. Okay, we got a lot of space. We're going to go down here. This remove is pretty tricky because you have to keep in mind a lot of things at once. So, of course, let's read it. Remove an item from a set if present. So we only do it if it's present. So the opposite of the other one, if val not in self.dict, right? So if it's not in there, we will return false. So now we know it's in there, right? Now you've probably know the way to swap using the attempt, but in Python we actually don't need that. So what we would do to remove something in constant time from the list, what we'd have to do is we'd have to swap it with the last, and then As we know, popping from the end of an array is actually constant time, O of 1. So that's how we would achieve it. So let's go ahead, we'll call it last index, or I'll call it IDX equals self dot list minus 1 self dot dict val. So this would be the index, which we get from this that we stored, and this would be the last. And then what we do here is we do self dot list at index idx self dot and then last, and then we do a swap here. So equals last and idx. Right? So we're basically swapping the indexes in the dictionary so that we can still keep track of it. And then now all that is left is to get rid of them. So we would do self.list.pop, and this is O of 1 again, end of the list, and then we would do del self.val. So we would also delete it from the dictionary. And then now this would be pretty easy since we have a list. So I'm just going to use a helper function here, import random, and to get random we would just return random dot choice. I spelled that wrong. And self dot list. So let's go ahead and run this. Hopefully we didn't make any mistakes. Guess we did. Okay, let's check it out. So this should be good. If val and self.dict return false equals, okay, this should be good. Probably an issue with this. So last index equal self dot list index last equals last index. So okay, yeah, big issue right here. We forgot to return. Okay, let's run this again. Okay, and let's run it. Submit. Okay, so beats 97% of Python users. Pretty fast. Like 247 milliseconds for constant time is a little too high. Probably a lot of test cases. But yeah, make sure to like and subscribe. Leave a comment down below, and I'll post another video tomorrow.